Leslie, do you have a moment? Hello, Haley. Sure, I have some time. The birthday dress you showed me on your phone the other day, it was stunning. The color, the design, it all looked so luxurious. May is a very lucky girl to be able to wear such an amazing dress as that on her birthday. Thank you. Actually, it was a gift from my husband's parents. They went through a lot of trouble getting that dress for May, and we are so thankful for what they were able to do. You're going to have her wear it to school, right? When is that happening? We're planning to go this Sunday afternoon. Oh, that's lovely. Are you going to take commemorative photos as well? Yes, we are. My father-in-law happens to have a friend who owns a photo studio, so we're planning to take the photos there. Wow, that sounds amazing. So extravagant and thoughtful. Meanwhile, in our family, things aren't so rosy. My husband's family barely gets by with their low salaries, and my husband himself is on such a meager paycheck. For Miley's birthday, we didn't get a single thing to celebrate. Can you believe that? Not even a token gift. Oh, I see. I'm not really sure what to say to that in response. That's all you've got to say? I beg your pardon? I mean, come on. You know what I'm getting at, don't you? I'm sorry, Haley, but I'm not sure I do. Could you clarify? Oh, seriously, you are so dense sometimes. I'm really sorry if I'm missing something here. What I'm saying is, how about giving May's birthday dress to Miley? That would solve everything. Excuse me? What on earth are you talking about? Like I just mentioned, it's a gift from my husband's parents. It's not something I can just give away to someone else. Wow, stingy much? Your father-in-law is some kind of high-level company executive, isn't he? Surely he can afford to buy you another dress. Just ask him for another one. That's not the point here. This isn't about whether or not we can get another dress. It's about treasuring the thoughtfulness and the sentiment behind the gift they sent us. Oh, come on. If you're so focused on treasuring thoughtfulness, how about considering my heartfelt desire to give Miley a proper birthday celebration? I just want to make sure my daughter has something special to wear on her big day. Are you seriously going to dismiss that? Doesn't that seem a little contradictory to your values? If you're so set on making your daughter's birthday special, shouldn't you, as her mother, take responsibility and arrange something for her? Isn't that what being a parent is all about? That's exactly why I'm coming to you and asking for your help. All you need to do is say, sure, you can have it, and this whole thing is solved. Miley gets to have a proper birthday celebration, and we all go home happy. Why are you being so difficult about this? Just give me the dress already. I'm sorry, but no, I can't do that. Wow, you're seriously so stingy. Fine, if you won't give it to me, how about just letting Miley borrow it on Sunday morning? What? You said May is wearing it in the afternoon, right? That means it's free in the morning, doesn't it? No, it doesn't work like that. There's time needed for dressing her up and getting everything prepared. And besides, why should Miley get to wear it first? It's my daughter's dress, not hers. Oh, for heaven's sake. You're the one who's being stubborn and refusing to give it to me, so here I am trying to compromise. I'm not asking for the dress permanently anymore. I'm just asking to borrow it for a few hours in the morning. And since you're using it in the afternoon, there shouldn't be any problem. I'm even going out of my way to adjust the schedule for you. Honestly, you're the one being unreasonable right now. If you're so concerned about it, why don't you just rent a dress? There are plenty of rental shops where you can get a nice dress for around $100. What? Why would I waste my money on that? If I can just borrow May's dress, it won't cost me a single cent. Why would I go out of my way to spend money unnecessarily when there's a simple and cost-free solution right in front of me? Wait, are you seriously calling your own daughter's birthday celebration an unnecessary expense? That's just... I don't even know what to say to that. All right then, I'll come by to pick up the dress on Sunday morning. What? No, I never said I'd lend it to you. Stop being so selfish and acting like a child. By the way, I remember you're good at putting on dresses, aren't you? I'll bring Miley along so you can help her get dressed too. Absolutely not. I am not lending the dress, and I am certainly not helping with the dressing. Leslie! Hey, can you hear me? Open the door already. I'm here to borrow the dress like we talked about. Oh, and Miley is here too. She's been so excited about this all week, she wouldn't stop talking about it. The dress! And don't forget the fitting. Hurry up and let us in, will you? Good morning, Haley. I'm sorry, but our family left the house last night and we're not home anymore. What? What's that supposed to mean? Exactly what I said. To avoid any unnecessary trouble on such an important day, my husband and I decided it would be better to go to his parents' house yesterday evening. What is wrong with you? Miley was so excited about today. She's going to be crushed. Don't you care about her feelings at all? The only person responsible for this unfortunate situation is you. Let's not pretend otherwise. But you promised. You said I could borrow the dress. No, I didn't. I told you very clearly that I wouldn't be lending the dress or helping with the fitting. I've said this more than once. Stop making excuses and just come back already. It's not fair that May gets to have her perfect birthday while we're scrambling to get things together over here. Do you realize that my in-laws are coming over this afternoon? My mother-in-law is terrifying, Leslie. If Miley doesn't have her birthday dress ready in time, I'll be the one who gets blamed. Do you want that? Wait a minute. Are you seriously telling me you didn't make any preparations yourself and were just relying on me to sort everything out? I don't care about any of that. I am telling you to come back right now. I can't. That's impossible. We've gone to my in-laws' house to celebrate Mary's birthday. I don't care about your plans. Just come back already. If you don't, I'll tell all the other moms that Leslie broke her promise and ruined Miley's special day. How would you like that? Actually, I've already contacted your husband. What? You contacted my husband? Yes, I did. Now, would you care to explain how we ended up in this mess? What are you talking about? From what I understand, your in-laws gave you money specifically to buy Miley's birthday dress. And not just a little, they gave you enough to get something really nice, complete with accessories. Well, yeah, but... And yet here you are, having done absolutely nothing. Instead, you plan to borrow May's dress and pass it off as Miley's. Don't tell me you spent money on something else and now you have nothing left for Miley's dress. If that's the case, what exactly did you spend the money on? Why would you go behind my back and contact my husband? And how do you even have his number? Wait a minute. Don't tell me. Are you having an affair with him? Excuse me? What are you even talking about? That's the only explanation that makes sense. You have been acting so cold towards Miley and me lately. You're probably doing all this to humiliate me and get back at me. You're a homewrecker, aren't you? I can't believe what I'm hearing. This is absolutely ridiculous. Our husbands work at the same company, remember? They're in different departments, but they're colleagues. What? Oh, they don't interact much, but they exchanged numbers at a company event. That's how I was able to contact him. No. This can't be happening. By the way, something you said earlier caught my attention. You mentioned that your in-laws are coming in the afternoon. Did I hear that correctly? Yeah, so what? Well, according to you, Miley only needed to borrow the dress for the morning. So why would your in-laws, who are presumably coming to see Miley all dressed up, be arriving in the afternoon? Why are you nitpicking such irrelevant details? It doesn't matter. Wait a minute. Were you planning on not returning the dress at all? That's not true. Your husband just sent me another update. What now? He told me that the reason you came here was only for the fitting because the dress was supposedly purchased with the money your in-laws provided. He said it was left in my care for today's celebration, but here's the thing. I never agreed to do the fitting, nor have I been entrusted with any dress. So what's going on here? Well, it's just... Your husband is currently rushing to buy Miley a new birthday dress. What? Apparently, he remembered that one of his old classmates works at a dress shop. He contacted them on the off chance they'd have something suitable, and luckily they do. Now he's on his way there, but he is furious because you wouldn't answer his calls. But If you're really worried about Miley, you should stop wasting time and follow your husband's instructions. No way, I don't want to get scolded. Hey, does your house have a place where I can hide? You've got to be kidding me. Running away now is only going to make things worse. I don't want to hear it. This whole thing is your fault anyway. If you hadn't been so stubborn, we wouldn't be in this mess. Excuse me, my fault? I gave you plenty of notice that I wasn't lending the dress or helping with the fitting. You should have just done it for Miley's sake. What kind of person says no to a child's happiness? Don't try to guilt trip me. Miley's happiness is your responsibility, not mine. You're just trying to make me look bad in front of everyone, aren't you? You're doing that all on your own. I don't need to do anything. Haley was picked up by her husband, who rushed over to my house in his car. The urgency in his movements was apparent, but Haley seemed unbothered, almost calm, as if this situation wasn't anything out of the ordinary. After they hurriedly left for the store, they went straight to buy a dress for Miley. I later learned that Haley's mother-in-law, a woman who was quite skilled in traditional methods of dressing, would be the one to handle the dressing. Haley and her husband arrived in the afternoon, and once there, her mother-in-law did what she did best, taking great care to make sure that Miley looked her best for the important occasion. Somehow, despite everything, Miley was able to wear the dress she was meant to wear, and her appearance could still be called a triumph, given the circumstances. The dress was beautiful, the setting was warm, and despite the underlying tension, they managed to pull off what was supposed to be a memorable day for Miley. But the story didn't end there. Things weren't as simple as they seemed on the surface. Once I learned the full details, everything became clear, and it left a bitter taste in my mouth. The money that Haley's in-laws had set aside for Miley's dress, something they had been saving for a long time, was now gone. Instead of being used for its intended purpose, it had been spent on something entirely different, something that no one could have anticipated. Haley had used that money for a high-end beauty device for herself. It was a luxurious, extravagant item, one that had no connection to the family's needs or to Miley's special day. The purpose of the money, which was supposed to go towards an important family event, had been hijacked for personal indulgence. I couldn't help but feel shocked when I first heard the news. The couple, especially the in-laws, had been so focused on providing for Miley, wanting her to feel special and loved on her big day. They had been working hard, trying to ensure that everything was perfect for her, only to be confronted with the reality that their good intentions had been undermined by Haley's selfish spending. The idea that such an important moment for their granddaughter had been tainted by this act of carelessness was something that didn't sit well with me at all. The bitterness of the situation wasn't just about the money itself. It was about the blatant disregard for what mattered most, the family and their collective bond. To make matters even worse, it wasn't even the first time this had happened. As the truth came out, it was revealed that Haley had done something like this before on several occasions in the past. She had used family money for her own selfish purposes, things that were far from necessary or important. This wasn't just a one-time mistake, but a pattern of behavior that her in-laws had long been aware of. The sense of betrayal and disappointment was palpable. They had trusted Haley to act responsibly, to honor the family and its values, but each time they turned a blind eye, they were only met with more selfishness. This realization, of course, only made things worse. The damage had already been done, and trust had been shattered. In the wake of this discovery, Haley's in-laws were furious, as anyone would be. The feeling of betrayal that accompanied the revelation wasn't something that could be easily swept away. They had tried to support Haley, tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, but it was clear that things had gone too far. The consequences of Haley's actions were inevitable. Her in-laws decided that they would no longer allow her to manage the household finances. They were taking control, and not just of the money, but of the household itself. It wasn't just a simple matter of money anymore. It was about respect, responsibility, and trust. The decision was made quickly, and the change would be permanent. Haley's in-laws would move in with them. This wasn't just a temporary arrangement. This was a drastic shift in the household dynamics. It was a clear sign that the family had had enough. No more would Haley be able to manage things on her own, especially when it came to finances. The responsibility was now in the hands of her mother-in-law, who had always been known for her grace, elegance, and poise. She was a woman who had always conducted herself with dignity, but it was clear that she had reached her limit. Haley's actions had forced her hand, and now she would take charge of the finances to ensure that there were no more mistakes. As for Haley, the situation was overwhelming. She found herself under constant scrutiny, something that she had never experienced before. Every day, her mother-in-law would give her stern lectures, not out of malice, but out of necessity. Haley needed to learn, and learn quickly, that there were consequences for her actions. She couldn't continue to live in a world where money was something to be spent without a second thought. Her family's well-being and the future of her daughter depended on it. The lessons were harsh, but they were also necessary. Every day, Haley felt the weight of the education she was receiving, one that she had never asked for, but one that would shape her for the rest of her life. Her mother-in-law, though kind and well-meaning, was not one to let Haley off easily. The lectures were frequent and they were filled with disappointment and concern. Haley knew that her mother-in-law was not doing this because she hated her, but because she loved her. She was teaching Haley the hard lessons that no one else had been able to teach her. Haley had grown accustomed to living a life of indulgence and excess, but now she had to face the consequences of that lifestyle. The lessons were tough, and at times Haley felt as though she couldn't breathe. It was like she was suffocating under the weight of her own mistakes. Her husband, too, found himself in a difficult position. He loved Haley, but he also loved his parents. It wasn't an easy decision for him to make, but in the end, he supported his parents' choice. He couldn't ignore the fact that Haley had used their money for their own selfish purposes. He had always tried to protect her, to shield her from the consequences of her actions, but this time there was no hiding. The damage had been done, and it was something that could not be undone. He had to choose between loyalty to his wife and loyalty to his parents, and in the end, his loyalty to his family won out. For Haley, the realization hit hard. She had always prided herself on being independent and capable, but now she was forced to confront the reality that she had failed. She had failed herself, her family, and her daughter. The decisions she had made, the actions she had taken, had all led to this moment, and there was no going back. Haley had to come to terms with her own actions, something that she had been avoiding for so long. The road to redemption was long, and it was unclear if she would ever be able to regain the trust that had been lost. But for now, all she could do was accept the lessons that were being forced upon her and try to rebuild her life from the ground up. As for Miley, her future was uncertain. Haley knew that she had to be better, not just for herself, but for her daughter. She couldn't let Miley grow up in a world where selfishness and irresponsibility were the norms. She had to change, and she had to change now. But whether or not she could live up to the expectations of her in-laws and her family was something that only time would tell. It was a sobering thought, and one that Haley could not ignore. But perhaps, in the end, this would be the wake-up call that she needed. Maybe this was the start of something new, a chance for Haley to rebuild her life and earn back the trust that she had so recklessly thrown away. Only time would tell if that was possible. The consequences of Haley's actions had not only impacted her own life, but had rippled through the entire family. It wasn't just about one moment or one mistake. It was about the trust that had been broken and the family dynamics that had been irreparably changed. As Haley tried to navigate the new reality that had been thrust upon her, she had to come to terms with the fact that her actions had consequences beyond just herself. The relationships within the family would take time to heal, if they ever could. And for Haley, the true challenge would lie in her ability to prove that she had learned from her mistakes and could once again earn her place within the family's trust. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story. Fred, thank you so much for today.
Oh, have you made it home?
Yeah, I just got here a little while ago.
I got home not long ago myself. Actually, I need to apologize because I made the restaurant reservation, but not for Christmas Day. I feel so bad about it. I really didn't think I'd get assigned a business trip for both the 24th and 25th. This was supposed to be our first Christmas together, and now it feels kinda empty. Damn it, this stupid company just had to mess things up.
I know, it's definitely disappointing, but if it's work, there's not much we can do. I actually had a fun time just spending the day with my books, so I'm perfectly okay with it.
Hearing that really makes me feel a lot better. It helps me to know you're not upset about it.
I really hope next year we can be together on Christmas Day itself. I don't want this to happen again.
Yeah, I really hope so too. It would be so much better if we could spend the holiday together. Let's make sure of it for next time. All right, since I have to wake up early tomorrow, I should probably get some rest soon.
Yeah, you should probably get some sleep. I'll let you go then.
Thanks again for everything today. It was a great time, despite the situation.
Of course. I hope you get some good rest. You need to be well rested for tomorrow. I'll be here if you need anything. Good night, Fred.
Good night. Sleep well.
Jamie, Merry Christmas! Oh, hey, it's still 12 hours away, you know. I know. I couldn't wait to message you, especially since it's been almost half a month since we last talked. Sorry for the sudden message, though. No, it's totally fine. It's just a little unexpected, that's all. So how have you been? Have you been busy lately? Well, yeah, I've actually been really busy with work. My company started offering me some work I can do from home, which is great because I get to be at home with the kids. It's been keeping me pretty occupied, to be honest. Oh, that's great. Balancing work and raising a child must be really tough, but I'm sure you're doing just fine. You've always been good at handling everything, and you seem pretty excited, huh, Sam? I can tell you're in a good mood. Well, of course, it's our first Christmas since getting married, so I'm pretty pumped. I'm actually in the middle of making some Christmas cookies right now. I just got done with baking the sponge cake, too, so if things are moving along, I'm really enjoying it. Speaking of which, isn't January 1st your first wedding anniversary? That's coming up so soon, huh? Exactly. That's another reason I'm so excited. We had to postpone our wedding because I got pregnant and my belly got too big, but I feel really lucky that we were able to line up our marriage registration with the start of the new year. It feels special, you know? How's Grace doing? She's growing up so fast. It feels like she's getting bigger by the day. Speaking of which, didn't you mention that you started dating someone you met at that mixer last month? What are you doing for Christmas? That's actually a bit of a downer. He got called away for a business trip, so we won't be spending Christmas together after all. Oh no! Oh, that's really disappointing. I'm sorry to hear that. I know you were looking forward to it. Yeah, it's really a bummer. But on the bright side, we actually went out for a nice dinner together last night. We went to this restaurant with a beautiful view of the city lights and had a nice French meal. That sounds nice, at least. I'm glad you got to spend some time together. But if you're free later, you and your boyfriend should come over to our place. I'd love to introduce you to my husband. Oh, right. I don't actually know what your husband looks like. Oh, right. I've never actually shown you a picture of him. He's not the best at pictures, though. When he knows he's been photographed, he gets all stiff and tries too hard to look good. He's a little awkward about it, but that's just him. That sounds so like him. But actually, I just took a really cute photo of the two of us in front of the Christmas tree, so I'll send it to you now. Wait, really? You're just sending it like that? Well, I just want to brag a little. Okay, go ahead. I want to see him. Here's my husband. Wait, this guy? Yeah, his name's Fred. I see. So this is him. What? Is there something wrong with Fred? Why do you sound so surprised? Oh, no, it's not that. I'm sorry, I just wasn't expecting that. It's just that, well, there's something I need to tell you in person. Could we meet right now? I really don't want to talk about it over message. Huh? Oh, well, sure, but why? What's going on? I can't really explain it through messages. It's not something that's easy to explain in a text. It's a little more complicated, but it's really important. I really need to talk to you about it face to face. You sound serious. What's going on? Should I be worried? It's just something I need to clear up with you. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I really need to see you. Okay, if you say so. How about we meet at the family restaurant in the shopping center around 2 p.m., the one we used to go to after my part-time job? I know it's been a while since we met up, but it's a good place for a chat. That works for me. I'll see you there.
Jamie, good morning. Actually, I finished work earlier than expected. I believe you didn't have any plans today, right? I thought maybe we could have lunch together. If it's convenient for you, we could even spend the evening together. What do you think?
Good morning, Fred. Oh, so you finished your business trip early?
Yep, that's right. I just dropped off the documents for the business trip at the office. They told me I could leave for the day. I think we can meet around noon. Let's spend Christmas together.
But do you think there's anywhere left where we can get a reservation at this late hour?
I'll try to find somewhere, don't worry. If it's okay with you, how about we just grab some quick food and cookies, then head to a hotel? What do you think?
Wait. If that's the case, I'd prefer to go to your place.
My place?
Yes, I've never been there, after all. Since it's Christmas, I'll cook for us.
Well, my place is a bit of a mess.
Why?
The place is kind of untidy. If you're gonna come over, I'd have to clean up first, wouldn't I?
Oh, come on, I can clean up.
No.
What's wrong? Is there a reason you can't invite me over?
Well, like I said, my place is messy.
I'll clean it up.
No, that's not it.
What is it then? Do you have a reason for not wanting me to come over?
It's just that It's a place you don't go to uninvited.
So is there really a reason you can't invite me?
Oh, no, it's not like that.
Is it because of your wife, Sam, and your daughter, Grace?
Huh?
Well, Sam and Grace are out of the house, but there's still evidence of them being there, so it might be awkward for me to come over, you know?
Jamie, what are you talking about? Wait, what? Who are Sam and Grace?
Huh?
Maybe someone told you something strange, but I've only got eyes for you.
You're still lying?
Then what's going on?
Look, Fred, Sam is my friend.
What?
Sam and I used to work at the same store part-time. We'd often have overlapping shifts, so we'd become friends, and we're still close today.
What?
When I was messaging with Sam yesterday, she showed me a picture of you saying, "This is my husband." That's when I realized we were all connected. I had always thought your last name was the same as theirs, and it turns out that wasn't just a coincidence.
Oh, I see now. Sam, she used to be my girlfriend. She even tried to get back together with me not long ago, and I was stuck dealing with it. I didn't want you to get involved with this, but I guess it's too late now.
That's such a lie.
You don't believe me?
Look, Sam and we actually met in person yesterday to talk about everything.
What?
So Sam and Grace aren't at their place right now because they left you and went back to her parents' home.
What?
And now I'm here at her place to explain the situation to her parents. Also, Sam wants to talk to you, so I'm switching with her. Fred, it's Sam.
What?
Yes. You can believe it or not, but I'm going to move things along. You must have noticed that Grace and I weren't there when you woke up this morning, right? I thought you'd at least check in on us, but you didn't. Instead, you suddenly call me up for a Christmas date? What kind of nerve do you have?
Well, I thought...
Anyway, I'm getting a divorce.
What? No, wait a minute.
Do you really think you can stop this?
Because isn't a father necessary for raising Grace?
You've been pretending to be single, hitting on women at parties while having a wife and kid at home, and now you're acting like a father? I don't think so.
That's a different issue. This is about us.
No, it's not. When you cheat on your wife, making a family and a woman a fool, that's all one big problem. And to think you even went after my friend.
It's just a coincidence, though.
Doesn't matter if it's a coincidence or not. You still deceived Jamie.
Wait, hold on. What is this? You two are conspiring against me?
What?
So you and Grace are like rivals for my love, right? Even if you're friends, shouldn't you be enemies in this situation?
If Jamie knew I was married and still decided to date me, you'd be stuck in a mess right now. But you pretended to be single, right?
Well,
Jamie, she's been hurt too. As soon as she found out the truth, she came to me, apologized, and even gave me evidence. At that point, I have no reason to oppose Jamie.
What? No, but...
No matter how you explain it, you betrayed your wife and played with another woman's feelings. That's the fact.
But...
What? You still have an excuse to make?
I'm the one who's your husband and Grace's father.
And so what? Well, at this rate, talking over messages isn't going to solve anything. Let's get this divorce moving.
Wait!
You don't need to worry about Grace. I just returned to work, so I'm financially stable, and I have plenty of support from my parents. Even if we divorce, I'm not worried at all.
Wait!
I'd like to wrap this up by the end of the year, so please cooperate.
What? Today's Christmas! Why would you want to make such a bad memory on a day like this? Come on, just let it go. And now can you let me talk to Jamie?
Jamie? Of course, she's going to be leaving you as well.
What?
Well then, I'll be getting in touch with you again soon, through a lawyer, of course.
Wait a minute! Wait!
Just shut up already. You've already dragged so many people into this mess. You've hurt Jamie, you've hurt Grace, and now you're trying to make it all about you again. You need to stop, Fred. Seriously.
What are you talking about? What do you think I'm doing? I'm trying to fix everything. I'm trying to make this right. It's not like I didn't make mistakes. I'll admit that. But don't you see? I'm trying to make up for it all.
Make up for it? How can you possibly make up for all the lies, Fred? You've been living a double life. All the while you've been telling me one thing and living a completely different reality. I trusted you. I believed in you. And now you want me to just forget all of it? Just pretend like nothing happened?
Sam,
Goodbye, Fred. I am done with your sorry ass.
Sam!
After that, I ended things with Fred without ever facing him again. Fortunately, I hadn't shared the location of my home with him. My focus had been entirely on job hunting, and so I didn't have to worry about any kind of stalking or unwanted attention from him. I had made sure to keep my personal information private, particularly the place where I was living. This was something I had learned the hard way over the years, keeping certain boundaries in place to ensure my safety and peace of mind. With everything that had happened, it was important to have that distance, not just physically, but emotionally as well. I had spent a lot of time thinking about the relationship, trying to make sense of everything, but once I made the decision, I knew it was for the best. There was no need to keep engaging with someone who had caused me so much distress. I'd already endured enough, and I wasn't about to continue to put myself through any more unnecessary heartache. I had to draw a line, and that's exactly what I did. The peace I felt after making that decision was something I hadn't experienced in a long time, and it was something I realized I truly needed. Sam, too, finalized her divorce by the end of the year. Like me, Sam had been through her own emotional turmoil. She had struggled for a long time, unsure of what the future held, and was still trying to come to terms with everything. Her marriage had been full of its own challenges, and even though she had known for some time that the relationship was over, actually making the decision to go through with the divorce was not something that came easily. But by the time we had reached the end of the year, she had managed to find the strength to move on. We had supported each other through this, sharing stories, giving advice, and just being there for one another when we needed it the most. While I never asked Sam for specifics about the alimony or child support details, it seems that the amount was considerable. Sam had been very careful in making sure she wasn't taken advantage of during the divorce. She had fought for what she was owed, and from what I gathered, she made sure to get it all paid in one lump sum without leaving room for any further complications. She didn't want to have to deal with ongoing legal battles or the stress of chasing down payments. She was done with all of it, and I respected her decision to handle things in a way that gave her the closure she needed. Sam had been through a lot, and I could see how much relief she felt once everything was finalized. It was like a weight had been lifted from her shoulders. For the first time in a long while, she felt like she could have finally started living again. Without the shadow of her past hanging over her, it was a liberating feeling, one that I was starting to understand myself. As for Fred, it seems that somehow the details of what had happened between us were leaked to his workplace. It was strange how quickly information like that could spread, especially when it was something so personal. Given his line of work, where maintaining the company's reputation was critical, it seemed that the matter was now a potential issue of trust. Word had somehow gotten out about the circumstances of his personal life, and it appeared that it was starting to affect his professional reputation. As a result, it seemed that he was subtly encouraged to resign. I'm not sure if he had been outright told to leave, but it was clear that the company didn't want to risk its reputation by keeping someone who had become a liability. In some ways, I felt that Fred had brought this upon himself. He had been dishonest and reckless, and now he was facing the consequences of his actions. It was hard for me to feel any sympathy for him after everything that had happened. The lies, the betrayal, the way he had treated me, it had all left deep scars. Part of me was glad to see him facing some form of retribution, even if it wasn't as severe as what he truly deserved. But at the same time, another part of me couldn't help but wonder if things could have been different. Could he have been a better person? Could he have changed? The questions lingered in my mind, but I quickly pushed them away. I realized that dwelling on them wouldn't change anything. What mattered now was how I chose to move forward, not how Fred was dealing with the fallout of his own choices. So, all things considered, this turned out to be a miserable Christmas for both Sam and me. Not only had we both been through such personal upheaval, but the timing also made it feel like an extra burden. The holiday season, which is supposed to be about joy and togetherness, only seemed to highlight how much we had lost and how uncertain everything felt. Christmas, for me at least, was a time of reflection, of looking back on the year and wondering where things had gone wrong, where we had failed and what we could have done differently. But in the end, it didn't matter. Christmas was, at best, a reminder of the pain we were each going through, and at worst, it felt like an extension of the emotional chaos we were already dealing with. Despite all the negative feelings surrounding the holiday, there was still a small flicker of hope within me. I knew that this difficult time wouldn't last forever. Sam and I both know that we would eventually find our way out of the darkness. It was just a matter of time. However, the start of the new year offered a slight glimmer of hope. I made a promise to Sam that we would attend a New Year's Eve party together as a way of cleansing ourselves from the previous year's troubles. It was a small gesture, but one that felt important. an opportunity to leave behind the dark days and try to start fresh. We both needed something to look forward to, and even though the future was still uncertain, the idea of moving forward together, even if just for a night, felt like the first step in a long journey of healing. We'd been through so much individually, and our situations, though different, had left us with a shared understanding of what it means to rebuild. For Sam, the divorce had been a long time coming, but the process of untangling herself from that life had been no less painful. There had been years of emotional baggage, of trying to make things work when they were clearly falling apart. And in the end, she had to let go, but doing so was incredibly difficult. But of course, we're not going to let the memories of Fred get in our way, and come New Year's Eve, Sam and I have plans to spend the whole day together with one another celebrating our fresh starts. Jacob, sorry for texting you while you're busy at work. I know your schedule's packed today, and you have a lot to get done this week.
Kristen, what's going on? Is something wrong?
I just found out I need to head over to my parents' house right away. It's a bit of an emergency, I guess.
What happened? Did something happen with your mom or dad?
It's my dad. Apparently he missed a step on the stairs and fell. The neighbor called me to let me know he was taken to the hospital. It may get pretty bad, so I'm going to go see him.
Oh no, that sounds serious. Is he okay?
I'm heading out now to check on him and see how he's doing.
What about Manny? Are you taking him along with you?
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. I'll bring him with me to the hospital and then to my parents' house.
Are you sure? It sounds like a lot to handle on your own. If you need me to come and help, I can leave work early. It's not a problem.
No, don't worry about it. I know you have that business trip today. Plus, I was told that he didn't hit his head or anything, so it's not a super serious injury. The doctor's already treated him, and it seems like he's doing okay.
Well, that's a relief. Still, it must have been scary for him and for you.
Yeah, it's hard not to worry. But still, I'm a bit concerned about how bad the injury might be. But I figured I'd stop by, check on him, and bring Manny along. Seeing his grandson might help cheer him up a bit.
I think that's a great idea. If you're sure it's not too much trouble for you, it could really brighten his day.
Thanks. I might stay overnight if things seem like they'll take longer.
That's fine. Just take care of your dad and don't stress about anything else.
Thank you. I'll head out now.
Drive safe and let me know if you need anything. Kristen, how is everything over there?
I'm sorry for making you worry. My father, he sprained his ankle. It's not that serious, but it still hurts when he walks. For now, I think I'll stay here for a few more days, just to keep an eye on him.
Oh, I see. Your dad sprained his ankle, huh?
Yes, that's right. Since my mom passed away, living alone during times like this really becomes an inconvenience, doesn't it?
Well, when I rang the doorbell, Manny came running to greet me all hyped up, carrying him on his shoulders, looking all excited.
What?
With the way he was acting, you could probably come back home now, don't you think?
Jacob, what are you talking about?
No, really, that's the line I should be saying here. Apparently you and your secret man were planning to go on a trip alone together, just the two of you or something like that? And you plan to have your father watch Manny for you while you're away?
Wait, hold on. Are you really at my parents' house right now?
Well, yeah.
What about your business trip then? How could you possibly lie about something like that?
I can't believe you're the one saying that to me. By the way, the business trip is real. Things wrapped up a lot sooner than I thought. When I realized that your parents' house is just a 30-minute drive away from my work trip location, I decided to tell my boss about the situation and asked for permission to go off on my own while still being on the trip. And now here we are. By the way, where exactly are you right now?
I'm with a friend.
A friend?
It's Anna, my old friend from back home. You met her at the wedding and you exchanged greetings with her, right?
Oh, that person, right. So why did you make up such a complicated story?
Well, actually, I came on a trip with Anna. When you're busy on your business trip, it's been hard for me to admit that I'm just here having fun.
Using your father's injury as an excuse like that just makes me even more worried, though.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
So who are you really with, then?
Huh? I'm telling you, it's Anna.
Really? You... If you're going to lie, can you at least be a little more careful with the names you use?
But it's true. I know I lied about going on a trip, and that was wrong, but this part is the truth.
Anna isn't with you, though.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because I know for sure that's why.
Huh? What do you mean by that? What is this?
It's a photo that Anna sent me as proof. This man, he's Anna's husband, Kevin, right? And this is the waiting room at the station where you two were planning to go on your affair trip, isn't it?
Wait, hold on a second. How is it that you're even in contact with Anna?
Well, remember the home number you gave me before? I called that one.
But wait, you're supposed to be on a business trip.
I wasn't gonna leave the house empty, so before I left, I stopped by and set up call forwarding from the home phone to my cell phone.
Wait, hold on. You can really do that?
Well, I did it, so it must be possible, right? And since Anna knew that you and your man were off on an affair trip, she probably figured I'd be the one answering the phone when she called. So she let me know everything that's been going on.
No way. Anna wouldn't do something like that.
Well, when I asked, I found out Anna had actually come back to her parents' place. It's just 5 minutes from your parents' house, so she came over, and I heard everything from her.
No, that can't be true.
And by the way, I already changed the locks at our place, so you won't be able to get inside anymore.
Huh? You changed the locks while you were on a business trip? That means your whole business trip story must have been a lie, right?
Did you forget who the landlord is?
Wait. Oh.
Yeah, that's right. It's my grandfather. When I explained the situation to him over the phone, he was kind enough to change the locks for me, using his authority as the landlord.
No way. So where am I supposed to go now?
Your dad needs to hurry up and come back here and apologize to me and Manny.
Huh?
Well, even if he apologizes, the divorce is already a done deal.
Divorce?
Why are you so surprised now? You should have seen this coming the moment you decided to cheat. When an affair is discovered, this is what happens. Your spouse finds out and they confront you about it. And of course, it doesn't stop there. You'll be hit with alimony payments, and if you have kids, there's child support as well. As I mentioned, divorce is almost inevitable at this point.
No, divorce? I didn't think this would happen.
And if the person you cheated with is married, then their spouse can also file for alimony.
No, Anna is so kind. She would never do something like that. She's been my best friend for so long. I won't let you scare me with your threats.
Well, I spoke with a lawyer and they're preparing to take action.
What? Let me talk to Anna for a second. It looks like she's blocking my calls.
The lawyer will reach out to you soon.
I know divorce alimony can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Do you think I have that kind of money? Can't you just understand how much pressure this is? Let me talk to Anna right now. Kristen, it's Anna. Anna, this is horrible. Aren't we friends anymore? Once you slept with Kevin, you stopped being my friend. I didn't want to talk to you again, but seeing that you're seriously misunderstanding things, I figured I should correct that at least. Why are you betraying me? Do you even realize what you're saying right now? You're having an affair with my husband. You've betrayed me first, not the other way around. But we've been such close friends, practically like sisters since we were kids. How could you do this to me? So, does that mean you think it's okay to steal my husband from me? Is that what you think? I thought you would understand. I thought you would forgive me. I was hoping you'd see that it's true love and you'd be okay with it. You must be living in some fantasy world. Even friends have boundaries, and you've crossed them without a second thought. This is not something I'll just let slide. How could you do this to me? What kind of person are you to take my husband from me like this? What about you, though? Taking pictures of Kevin and following him around? Does that make you feel better about what you've done? Aren't you ashamed of yourself stalking my husband like this? What's wrong with gathering evidence when I know my husband is having an affair? Do you think I'm supposed to just sit here and let you get away with it? You're right. I don't want to be with Kevin anymore, but I need proof before I make any decisions. The fact that you're accusing me of stalking just proves how little you care about what's really happening. You need to open your eyes, Kristen. Maybe it's because you're so bitter and unattractive that Kevin's lost interest in you. He's just not into you anymore, and that's why he's turned me. How could you say something so cruel? I'm not charming, but I'm not going to apologize for it. What about you? You're the one who betrayed your marriage first, and now you're trying to make yourself the victim in all this? Do you even realize how selfish you sound? But if you were so interested in someone else, you should have divorced first, don't you think? If you were truly serious about being with Kevin, you should have cleaned up your own mess before you started with him. I would have been hurt, yes, but at least I would have understood. But no, you and Kevin didn't bother to end things properly because you started your affair and now you're being blamed for it. You can't just skip over the responsibility that comes with that. It's just a matter of order, that's all. Just like when someone ends up pregnant before marriage, it's just one of those things that happens sometimes, like getting married too soon. So why does it matter? No, it's not the same. Being pregnant out of wedlock is controversial, sure, but at least those people are taking responsibility. An affair, on the other hand, is illegal. It's a violation of trust and it's morally wrong. That's what you're doing. Illegal? Are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. Affairs are against the law. There are consequences. You should look it up yourself. You're just making this up. It's not made up. You can check on your smartphone. There are tons of resources about legal consequences of affairs. You'll see that it's not just a moral issue, it's a legal one. No, that's not true. Kevin and I are in love. This is real love, and it's not an affair. How could you say something like that? If you really believe that, why didn't you just divorce Jacob first? Why didn't you handle things properly before you started an affair with Kevin? If you cared about him the way you say you do, you would have respected his relationship with me and dealt with your marriage first. We couldn't wait. We just couldn't wait any longer for our hearts to align. It wasn't something we could control. Our hearts were just in sync and everything else didn't matter. So you're telling me that you couldn't use your brain and waited until everything was settled first? You let your instincts take over and acted without thinking? That's not love. That's selfishness. You didn't care about anyone but yourselves. That's so mean. I'm not trying to be cruel, but I'm just telling you the truth. You chose your instincts over your responsibilities, and that's what you did. You and Kevin need to face the consequences of your actions. You can't just blame everyone else when you've crossed so many lines. But you, Kristen, you still can't seem to admit what you've done is wrong. You're in complete denial about the damage you've caused. No matter how much you try to justify it, this affair was wrong. No, it's not. This isn't an affair. We're in love, and you need to understand that. Well, let me explain it to you in terms you can understand. When you're married and you're involved with someone else, that is what's called adultery. It's a violation of the vows you took. Now, Jacob and we both have the right to ask for alimony from you and Kevin. That's the legal process. Wait, no, that's not fair. You can't just do that to us. Yes, I can, because this is the consequence of what you've done. You don't get to break the rules and then cry when there are consequences. You have to take responsibility for your actions, Kristen. So, are you done now? I think this pointless argument has gone on long enough. You're not going to change my mind, and I don't think I can change yours. Anna!
Kristen, it's Jacob now. Can you hear me out for a minute?
What is it?
Anna's right. Everything she's said, it's exactly what I've been trying to tell you. She's said everything I wanted to say, and I'm glad she did. It's a shame that you still don't understand.
Jacob, I thought you would understand me. You've always been there for me. Why can't you see things from my perspective?
No, I don't understand, and I'm not going to. It's a mystery how someone who's involved in an affair can act so clueless. Do you even realize the mess you've created?
Jacob!
Look, I don't think someone like you who's completely lost touch with reality should be raising Manny. I'm taking Manny, and I'm gonna raise him properly.
Wait, what? You can't take him away from me.
We'll settle this through the lawyers. You need to face the consequences now, Kristen.
Wait, no! You can't just do this to me. Please don't take him.
Before long, both Anna and I got divorced. Kristen, despite her numerous objections and resistance, eventually had no choice but to agree to the divorce. Her father, my father-in-law, had become extremely angry, and with a forceful punch, he made Kristen cry and reluctantly agree to the separation. It was a moment that was both heartbreaking and overwhelming, as Kristen was left no room to negotiate or refuse anymore. The emotional weight of it all seemed to hit her in that instant, and her defiance crumbled under the pressure of her father's wrath. As for the custody of our son, after much discussion and persuasion from my father-in-law, the decision was made and I was granted full custody. It was a decision that, in the end, seemed right for both the child and me. My father-in-law, who had a certain influence over Kristen due to their past history, had made sure to sway the decision in my favor, despite Kristen's emotional protests. I did not feel victorious in that moment, but rather relieved, as I knew that Manny would be in a safer, more stable environment. Kristen's chaotic lifestyle was not conducive to raising a child, and that fact was something I could not ignore. However, the aftermath of this divorce was not an easy one for Kristen. After the separation, she and her affair partner found themselves in an increasingly dire financial situation. The alimony and child support payments, which amounted to more than $100,000 combined, caused their household to plunge into financial turmoil. Kristen, who had already been living on the edge with her reckless behavior, was now forced to face the consequences of her actions. The financial burden of these payments drained her resources and added a layer of stress that only compounded the emotional turmoil she had been dealing with since the divorce. Incredibly, the relationship between Kristen and her affair partner did not last long after the financial pressures hit. I heard that just a month after they began living together, their relationship came to a sudden and abrupt end. It was clear that the weight of their shared financial difficulties was too much to bear, and their once passionate connection was obliterated by the realities of debt and personal struggles. It was a devastating collapse that reflected how fragile their bond had been from the start. The affair, which had initially seemed like an escape for Kristen, had only compounded her problems and left her with even more to confront. Meanwhile, my father-in-law, who had been deeply offended by Kristen's infidelity, made it clear that he would never forgive her for what she had done. He could not stand the idea of his daughter continuing to live in the house where so many memories of her betrayal had been made. In the wake of our divorce, my father-in-law made the decision to sell the family home and move away, cutting all ties to the past. He didn't want Kristen to have any connection to that place, and to ensure she could not find him, he did not inform her of his new address. He disappeared from her life as quietly as possible, without leaving a trace. As the weeks went by, Kristen's persistence became unbearable. She repeatedly reached out to me, begging for reconciliation, desperate to rekindle the relationship that had once been the center of her life. I could feel her desperation in every message she sent, every phone call she made. But I had made up my mind. There was no going back. The betrayal was too great, and my heart could not allow me to forgive her for the pain she had caused. To escape her relentless pleas, I made the decision to leave the city. I took Manny with me, and we relocated far away to a place where Kristen would no longer be able to contact me as easily. It was a necessary move, both for my own mental health and for the well-being of my son, who needed to be free from the tension and chaos that Kristen continued to bring into our lives. We moved to a distant location, and I started a new job there. The transition was difficult, but it provided the fresh start that I so desperately needed. Now, several years later, I live about a 20-minute drive from my father-in-law's new house. Although we no longer see each other on a daily basis, we still maintain contact. Manny, now much older, is able to visit his grandfather from time to time, and the bond between them remains strong. My father-in-law, despite all the years of tension and emotional pain, has continued to support me and Manny, and his role as grandpa is important to both of us. Even though the divorce was a painful experience, there is a sense of peace that has come from the separation. It's as if, over time, the raw emotions have slowly faded, and now we're left with only the reality of our new lives. I no longer feel the bitterness that once consumed me. Kristen's actions may have torn our family apart, but in some ways they also set us on a path to healing. Manny and I have built a life that is free from the toxicity that once defined our home. We have a routine, a stability that we never had before. Looking back on everything that happened, I can't help but feel a sense of gratitude for the lessons learned. Yes, the divorce was painful and the emotional scars are still there, but I have gained clarity and understanding from it all. I've learned to prioritize my happiness and well-being, and above all, to protect Manny from the negativity that once clouded our lives. I know that I have the strength to move forward, and that Manny and I will continue to build a life filled with love, security, and stability. As for Kristen, I don't know what the future holds for her. I no longer have any interest in her life or her struggles. She made her choices, and now she must deal with the consequences. The pain she caused will forever be a part of her, just as it will be a part of me. But I've learned that I can't let her actions define my future or my happiness. I'm moving forward, and I'm focused on the future, on providing for Manny and creating a safe and happy life for him. That is what matters now. Despite everything, we have a future ahead of us, and I'm determined to make it as positive as possible. I've just finished work.
Chuck, good job today. You're having dinner at home, right?
Yeah, I wasn't invited out for drinks today, so I'll head straight home.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, there's something I need you to do for me.
What's up?
Have you ever talked to my boss's kids? They go to the same kindergarten as Bri.
Yeah. Bree's in a different class, so I haven't really talked to the moms. But I know that the section chief's younger son is in the tulip class, and the assistant manager's daughter is in the dandelion class, right?
That's right. So you know how there's going to be a school play at the kindergarten, right?
Yeah, I know about that.
Well, I've already agreed to have you make the costumes for their kids who are in the play.
Huh?
The section chief's son is playing the role of Lincoln, and the assistant manager's daughter is playing a general. Both are major roles, so apparently the costumes are quite complicated and require a lot of work.
Hold on a second.
Huh?
Bree might not be the lead, but she's playing a soldier of the South, and I'm already working on her costume. Adding 2 more costumes for the lead roles, there's clearly not enough time. It's just impossible, no matter how you look at it.
No, that's not true. You went to a sewing school, didn't ya? Stop acting like you're hesitating. Making costumes for a kindergarten play should be a piece of cake for ya.
I'm telling you, it's not going to be a piece of cake. That's why I'm saying it's impossible. And what's with deciding this without even consulting me? I'm running a sewing business here, you know. Technically, I should be charging for this service.
Come on, don't be like that. The payment is a priceless increase in my reputation from my boss.
What?
If we get this right, there's no doubt that my stock will rise. As a professional in sewing, I'm counting on you to do this right without cutting any corners.
No way.
Huh?
Why should I have to do this? Usually it's the parents who make the costumes for their own kids. Unless there's some special reason, I wouldn't take on this kind of task.
What are you talking about? You made the costumes for Sammy at your sister's place, didn't you, a couple of years ago?
That's exactly the special reason I'm talking about. It was when my sister broke her arm and my brother-in-law was on a long overseas business trip. That's why I had no choice but to take it on.
So this time it's pretty much the same, right? Apparently the section chief's wife and the assistant manager's wife aren't very good at sewing. And recently they've been saying things like, "This is so difficult, what should I do?"
And?
Huh?
I'm pretty sure that for costumes that are difficult to make, it was fine to just modify ready-made clothes, and the kindergarten didn't require everything to be handmade.
No, the reality is they're stuck and don't know what to do. That basically means they can't sew, right? In that case, it's just like when my sister couldn't make the costumes because of her broken arm.
What are you even saying? That's totally different. My sister isn't good at sewing, but she managed to do some on her own, even with a broken arm. But the wives of your bosses aren't in some situation where they can't even start making the costumes, right?
Exactly, the fact that they can't sew is the situation I'm talking about.
Are you even listening to me? Did you seriously decide to just dump this on me without even asking? Just because I'm your wife and we're both moms at the same kindergarten, it's honestly not okay for you to just throw this at someone you've never even talked to before.
Hey, what's with that attitude? The person in question is the wife of my boss. That's disrespectful. Think about your position before you say anything.
I'm just sharing my thoughts from a mother's perspective.
I have a position at the company, too. Once I take something on, it's only right to see it through to the end as a matter of integrity.
Then why don't you just do it yourself?
What?
You're the one who agreed to this, not me.
In that case, I won't be coming home tonight.
Huh?
I'm not coming home until you reflect on what you've done and say, I was wrong. I'd be happy to make the costumes. You'll have to kneel down and apologize.
Oh, really? Then I don't have to prepare dinner for you tonight.
What?
I'm busy right now taking care of Bree until she falls asleep, so you can just take care of your own dinner tonight.
Honestly, I'll give you some time to cool off and think about what you've done.
I can't believe this. I work hard every day, and now I'm being asked to take on someone else's responsibilities because of some random request that wasn't even discussed with me? I am tired, Chuck. I just want to rest and not have to deal with something so ridiculous. And on top of that, you're telling me it's for your reputation at work? I didn't sign up for this. This isn't part of the deal. Chuck, you always think everything can be solved by just doing it, but I am not just some puppet who can be controlled. I have my own work, my own time, and my own responsibilities. I'm not here to play the role of your personal costume maker. You don't even seem to understand how hard it is to juggle everything and still do something for someone else without a second thought. You're asking me to take on more without even asking if I'm okay with it. It's exhausting just thinking about it.
Hey, have you had enough time to reflect on your actions yet?
What are you talking about?
I figured Bri must have gone to bed by now, so I thought you would have had time to sit down and really think about what's been going on. After all, you had some time while things were quiet, right?
If this is about the costumes, I've already made it clear. I'm not making them.
You're still going on about that?
Well, yes, because it's already been decided. I am not going to make them.
Decided?
Yes. And after everything that happened, I went ahead and consulted with the kindergarten teachers. They took care of informing your superiors about the change.
Wait, what?
I spoke with the wives of your superiors, and after discussing things with them, we decided that it's better if I don't take on making the costumes.
What is this? Why are you making decisions on your own without even discussing it with me?
Before you go blaming me, I think you should have actually listened to what your superiors had to say before making up your mind about everything.
Huh?
It turns out the wives of your superiors weren't saying it was too hard to do. When they mentioned how challenging it was, they were actually saying it's difficult, but it's a challenge they were willing to take on. They were just figuring out how to approach it.
What?
Apparently, while the two wives were chatting over tea, they discussed the costumes. When your boss and the other manager were talking about it on their way home, you interrupted them without realizing they had already been discussing the issue. You went on about how I'm a professional, that I went to fashion school, and how it was a good idea to just give the task to me, saying I'd handle it. Then, when they tried to correct you, you kept brushing them off, saying things like, "It's fine and don't worry about it," and left quickly. Is that what happened?
Wait, what?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. You just barged in and didn't listen to their side of things. When they realized you had misunderstood the situation, they tried to explain it to you, but you just kept interrupting and reassuring them that it would be fine. You didn't even give them a chance to correct you before leaving.
Oh, really?
Yes, and here's the kicker. They actually planned to contact me themselves about it because they felt they needed to clarify things. But then the kindergarten called me because they heard I wanted to discuss it, so we got in touch.
Are you serious?
Yes, they were already planning to reach out to me. And then, since they had heard I wanted to talk to them, I ended up calling them. I had to apologize on behalf of my husband for him jumping the gun and not understanding the situation properly. I told your superiors I was sorry for the confusion.
Wait, what?
Yes, and not only did I apologize on your behalf, but they also apologized to me, saying they were sorry they couldn't stop you from rushing into things.
Wait, they apologized to you?
Yes, they did. And on top of that, they said something else. They mentioned that you have a tendency to act impulsively without listening to the people around you, and that it's becoming a problem. Apparently, you've been reprimanded for it before. They even expressed concern that your impulsive behavior could lead to you making a major mistake at work. They're genuinely worried about the impact it could have on your career.
Are you serious?
Yes, I had no idea either. I never realized that your tendency to act without thinking was causing such a big issue at work. I honestly feel bad for you, but at the same time, this needs to be addressed before it gets out of hand. You need to start paying attention to how you approach things, or it's going to continue causing problems.
I didn't mean for it to get this bad.
I know you didn't mean for things to get out of hand, but unfortunately, that's exactly why it's so problematic. When you act impulsively, it often makes the situation worse, even when that's the last thing you intend to do.
I don't think it's that bad.
But it is that bad. Look at what just happened with this whole costume debacle. You misinterpreted everything, acting on your own assumptions, and caused a big mess without taking the time to listen or consider anyone else's perspective.
Oh, I see.
And what's worse is that you wasted everyone's time, including mine. We could have avoided all of this if you had just communicated with the right people and listened to their input. But instead, you pushed ahead without thinking it through.
I didn't mean to waste anyone's time.
I know, but that's the consequence of acting on impulse. Now you've put us all in an awkward position, and we're going to have to undo the mess you've created.
So what should I do now?
Well, first things first, you need to apologize to both your boss and the other manager tomorrow. They need to hear it from you that you realize your mistake and that you understand the consequences of rushing into things like this.
And after that?
You also need to take a hard look at how you act in the future. You can't keep rushing into situations without considering what others are thinking. You've got to stop acting impulsively, or else you're going to keep sabotaging your own success.
So, I have to apologize for everything?
Yes, and don't just say a quick sorry and move on. You need to really explain to them that you understand the problem and that you're committed to doing better. If you don't show them that you've learned from this, nothing will change.
I see. I really messed up, didn't I?
Yes, you did, but that doesn't mean you can't fix it. You just need to stop acting impulsively and learn to think before you act. If you do that, you can avoid making this kind of mistake again.
Okay, I understand now. I'll make sure to apologize properly tomorrow. I don't want this to happen again.
Good. Well, I'm glad you understand. Now you really need to make sure you work on this behavior. Otherwise, it's going to keep causing issues for you and everyone else around you. The next day, my husband seemed to have been thoroughly reprimanded by his two bosses. When he returned home, he immediately dropped to his knees and apologized to me. His expression was filled with genuine remorse, and his deep brow reflected just how much he understood the gravity of the situation. It wasn't just the standard apology one might expect. There was real humility in the way he approached me. He had clearly been given quite a talking to at work. The way his bosses had reacted was serious, and I could tell he wasn't just apologizing to fulfill some obligation, but because he truly recognized the mistake he had made. When I went to pick up our children from the kindergarten later that day, I had the chance to meet with the other wives, as they were there too. After a few moments of small talk, I apologized to them for the incident that had occurred, acknowledging how uncomfortable it must have made everyone. I explained that it wasn't something I had expected to happen, and I genuinely felt sorry for the disruption it had caused. It was important to me that they knew I took full responsibility for the situation, and that I wanted to maintain a good relationship with all of them, especially since we were going to be seeing each other regularly from then on. It wasn't just about being polite, it was about ensuring that any tension or awkwardness was addressed, so everyone could move forward. The whole incident actually turned out to be a turning point for me. While the situation had started out as uncomfortable, it ended up bringing the wives closer together. It became a kind of bridge that allowed me to interact with them more, and before long, I had formed a friendship with both of them. They were both very approachable and warm-hearted women, which made the transition from awkward strangers to genuine friends much easier. There was absolutely no sense of distance between us, no feeling that I was only being included because I was the wife of their husband's subordinate. They treated me like an equal from the very start, and I greatly appreciated that. We started spending more time together, chatting about everything from family matters to personal interests. It was nice to be able to socialize with them without any underlying tension or discomfort. One of the women, the wife of the section chief, was particularly easy to talk to. It turned out that she worked in a neighboring department as a part-time employee, which was an interesting bit of information I wouldn't have known otherwise. As we talked, I realized how much we had in common. Despite the different roles we had in the workplace, it was funny because while we were discussing our husband's work and how their respective departments were structured, I began to get a clear picture of what went on at my husband's workplace. Thanks to our new friendship, I found myself learning more and more about the environment he worked in, and even the things he didn't share with me at home became clear. The more we spent time together, the more I realized how much I appreciated their honesty and openness. I wasn't expecting them to divulge confidential details or insider information, but the little glimpses into their lives and the workplace dynamics helped me understand my husband's challenges a bit more. It also made me more aware of the pressure he was under, and how some of his behaviors, while not excusable, were perhaps a result of that stress. As for the section chief's wife, she was always so positive and kind. We started to exchange advice on different matters, and she shared her experience of balancing work and family life. I was impressed by how much she managed to juggle, and it inspired me to reconsider my own approach to handling responsibilities at home and work. We would often joke about how, despite having full-time jobs, our husbands seemed to take longer to get their acts together than we did. But it was all in good fun, and it made me feel better to know that other women were going through similar experiences. Thanks to these interactions, I ended up learning quite a bit about my husband's work life. I found out about the small yet significant challenges he was facing daily, things that had been hidden from me before. Of course, I didn't directly ask for these details, but little by little the information came to me. I could see how it affected him, and it helped me understand his behavior better, especially in terms of how he reacted to stress. This new understanding also led to a deeper conversation between my husband and me. It wasn't long before we had what I'd call a couples reflection meeting, where we took time to discuss the issues that had arisen and to reflect on what we could both do better. I think my husband found it to be a useful exercise, as it gave him the chance to evaluate where he had gone wrong and to think about how he could improve. During our conversation, he admitted that he had neglected to prioritize certain things at work, which led to the tension that had spilled over into our personal lives. He was grateful for the opportunity to discuss these things openly and for me to not judge him too harshly. It was a positive step in our relationship, allowing both of us to see the other's perspective. Since then, my husband has taken steps to improve himself professionally. He's made a concerted effort to focus more on his work and has been achieving much better results. I've noticed a change in him. He seems more focused and driven, and he no longer lets minor issues distract him as easily. He has begun to take more initiative at his projects, and I can tell that his bosses have already noticed the shift in his attitude. It's not that everything is perfect now, but there's been a noticeable improvement, and I'm proud of the progress he's made. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.